Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. My name is Vorn. I am a decorated combat specialist of the Kelthara Empire. 17 campaigns across 9-star systems. Not a single lost engagement. Medals hanging from my chest like fruit on a dying tree. And yet here I am, about to explain how a backwater planet full of bipedal primates made me question every life choice I ever made. It started 3 cycles ago, when High Commander Raxus decided Earth needed a proper evaluation. You know the type. Scales polished to an obnoxious shine. Voice full of confidence earned entirely in conference rooms. Always talking about expansion, never about consequences. He gathered the best warriors in the fleet. Me, obviously. Corvin, who could bench press a cargo hauler. Fesha, our weapons expert, who once blew up a moon, accidentally. Long story. And about 40 others. All elite. All veterans. All absolutely convinced this would be the easiest assignment of our careers. Earth, Raxus announced during the briefing, his 3 eyes gleaming with that special kind of ignorance that only comes from never doing field work, is classified as a heavy world. Gravity, 0.98 times standard. We laughed. Oh, how we laughed. 0.98? That was nothing. Kelthar Prime sat at 0.6 standard. We trained at 0.7, sometimes 0.8 if we were feeling ambitious. 0.98 sounded like a mild inconvenience at worst. A decent workout at best. Corvin actually snorted. What do they do down there? Crawl everywhere. More laughter. Fesha pulled up surveillance footage. Humans doing something called jogging. We watched these strange creatures bouncing along on 2 legs, arms flailing, faces red and dripping with sweat. It looked ridiculous. Inefficient. Weak. They move like injured prey animals, someone shouted from the back. Raxus nodded, clearly pleased. Exactly. This will be a simple show of force. We land, demonstrate superiority, they acknowledge Kelthara dominance, and we leave. 6 hours maximum. 6 hours. Right? Our landing coordinates were set outside a human settlement called Denver. Mountains in the distance. Thin atmosphere. Altitude nearly 2,000 meters above sea level. Even better, we thought. Thinner air meant less oxygen for primitive lungs. We would be fine. Obviously, Keltharan respiratory systems are triple redundant. Superior evolution and all that. The shuttle doors opened. I stepped out first, because that is what decorated combat specialists do. My boot hit Earth soil, and immediately something felt wrong. Not pain. Not yet. Just wrong. Like invisible weights had been welded to my bones without my permission. Bit heavier than expected. I muttered into the comm. Stop complaining. Corvin shot back as he strode past me confidently. 3 seconds later, he stumbled. Caught himself. Tried to play it off. But I saw it. We all did. Fesha descended the ramp with her usual precision. Took 4 steps. Her knee buckled. Okay, she said carefully. That is definitely more than 0.98. Command, I said, already feeling my leg muscles tighten. Confirm gravity reading. A pause. Then the navigation officer's voice came through, small and nervous. Correction. Earth gravity is 1.0 standard, not 0.98. Decimal point error in the initial report. Sorry about that. 1.0. Standard. We were standing on a baseline gravity world, and our superior, lighter world-evolved bodies were already screaming in protest. Decimal point error? Corvin's voice jumped an octave. Who makes a decimal point error on a military operation? Before anyone could answer, the human delegation arrived. 5 of them, walking normally, effortlessly, as if gravity were just a suggestion they politely ignored. No armor, no visible weapons. The one in front, a female, dark-skinned, hair pulled back tight, smiled at us. Welcome to Earth, she said warmly, completely unbothered. I'm Captain Brooks. You must be tired from your flight. Would you like to sit down? Sit down. She offered chairs, because she could see it. Corvin's trembling legs. Fesha gripping her weapon for balance instead of intimidation. 42 elite Kelthran warriors sweating and breathing hard from simply standing still. And that smile. That knowing, infuriating smile. This was not going to be a 6-hour mission. Captain Brooks led us toward what humans called a conference facility. 50 meters. That was the distance from the landing zone to the building entrance. 50 meters that might as well have been 50 kilometers. Halfway there, one of our junior warriors' packs collapsed. No warning. No stumble. One moment walking, the next moment face first into the dirt like someone had simply turned him off. Two others moved to help him, which meant 3 warriors were now struggling instead of one. Brilliant mathematics. Brooks glanced back. Her expression wasn't amused. It wasn't smug. It was concerned. That somehow made it worse. Do you need medical assistance? She asked. We are fine, I said through clenched teeth. A lie. Every step felt like wading through liquid metal. My calves burned as if wrapped in fire. My spine felt compressed, crushed downward. Even my tail, normally a perfect counterbalance, dragged uselessly behind me like dead weight. The humans did not hurry. They did not slow down either. They simply walked at their normal pace, breathing normally, existing comfortably under a force that was grinding Kelthara's finest warriors into trembling wrecks. Inside the building, chairs awaited us. Beautiful, blessed, glorious chairs. We collapsed into them with all the dignity of wet sandbags. Corvin actually groaned. Thesha, proud Thesha, who once fought 16 straight hours on Proxima Station, sat with her head in her hands, elbows on her knees, breathing hard. Captain Brooks sat across from us and crossed her legs, completely at ease. So, she said lightly, Commander Raxus mentioned you wanted to discuss terms of Earth's integration into the Kelthara Empire. I tried to straighten my posture, tried to project authority. Failed. Yes, I said. The Empire extends its generous offer of protection and membership. Protection from what? Exactly, another human asked. Older male, gray hair, arms folded. His name tag, Red Williams. From hostile forces, I replied. Pirates, raiders, the usual galactic threats. Williams nodded slowly. And in exchange, you want what? Our resources? Military bases? Tribute. This was the moment I was supposed to rise. Tower over them. Demonstrate physical superiority. Instead, I stayed seated. Standing sounded like torture. Standard terms, I said. Reasonable taxation. Fleet access. Technological sharing. Brooks leaned forward slightly. Here's the thing, Vorn. May I call you Vorn? I nodded. We've been watching the galactic community for some time now, she continued. Quietly, carefully, and we noticed something interesting. Her smile widened. Every species in the Kelthara Empire, actually most species in this sector, evolved on worlds between 0.5 and 0.8 standard gravity. Your ships operate at 0.6. Your stations, your habitats, your cities, 0.6. You've built an entire civilization around lighter conditions. Thesha shifted uncomfortably. We all knew where this was going. Humans evolved here, Brooks said calmly. At 1.0, we grew up in this. We don't need special conditioning. We don't need gravity assist exoskeletons. We don't train for it. She shrugged. This is just normal. Tuesday, you know. Williams picked up smoothly. Now imagine an actual conflict. Ground combat. Hand to hand. Your warriors, exceptional at 0.6, are functionally useless here. Meanwhile, my grandmother could probably take 3 of you. He paused. And she has a bad hip. Corvin opened his mouth, then closed it. What could he possibly say? We had been on Earth less than 20 minutes, and half our force could barely stand. Brooks stood up and stretched, entirely relaxed. So here's our counteroffer. We remain independent. You leave us alone. And if you ever need help, real help, maybe we talk. She met my eyes. As equals. The Empire does not negotiate with lesser species, I said automatically. The words felt hollow. Hard to feel superior when you're sweating through your uniform from sitting in a chair. Lesser. Brooks walked to the window and gestured outside. Vorn, there are humans who run marathons for fun. 42 kilometers. At altitude. In this gravity. Old humans. Young humans. Some of them do it while pushing wheeled carts with their children inside. She turned back to us. We have people who climb mountains 8,000 meters high just to say they did it. Who fight, jump, swim, endure because this world taught us how. Her gaze hardened slightly. We are not lesser. We are just built different. Literally. The The room fell silent. The only sound was Pax's labored breathing from the corner, where he was still recovering. I looked at Corvin. Corvin looked at Thesha. Thesha looked at me. We all understood the truth. We had come expecting easy dominance. Instead, we had found something far more dangerous. A species forged by its world's brutality, strengthened by constant pressure. While we had evolved in comfort, they had evolved in a crucible. Finally, I spoke. I need to contact High Commander Axis. This situation requires revised parameters. Brooke smiled and slid a communication device across the table. Take your time, she said pleasantly. Can I get anyone some water? Snacks? Maybe ibuprofen? It helps with muscle soreness. And that is how the mighty Kelthara Empire learned a valuable lesson. Never underestimate a heavy world species, especially when they offer you chairs. If this story entertained or taught you something, please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow and bring you more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next story.